Good evening to our leadership team. I'm Brian Myers, reporting from the FVEY Summit in London. I'd like to thank our CISO, Ms. Plunkett, for her support in infrastructure supporting the summit, her support during the summit, and especially as the cyber attacks were launched against our enclave as well as the other participants. I'd like to take 10 minutes to walk you through the two attacks. This brief will cover the basics of the attacks, the remediation, a frank view of successes and failures, and finally, recommendations we have moving forward. Let's start by looking at the attacks.
There were two attacks on all of the FVEY infrastructures. I'm proud to say that our layered security approach worked well. The DDoS attack occurred on November 6th for a short duration. The flood of traffic was pointed at a single web server, which it did take offline. The DDoS attack hid three other attacks: a URL injection, cross-site scripting, and brute force password attempts. Glad to say that these failed. The server and system were brought back into normal operation within 24 hours. The ransomware attack took a little bit longer to resolve. Our employee received a spear phishing email targeted at him. The curious employee opened the email and then the attachment. When opening the attachment, there were two security warnings that the employee ignored. After the second warning, the malware executed and encrypted the files on the machine. The business impact to the ransomware was loss of that workstation until our cyber analyst could unlock it. The workstation and the rest of the Summit Enclave were rehardened to eliminate the risk that malware had moved within the enclave. A lot of work, and 36 hours later, we were back to our normal state.
For remediation and recovery, we'll again start with the DDoS attack. The defenses we deployed, based on ISO, International Standards Organization, worked as expected. The attack was short, but with the systems patched correctly, the secondary attacks had no effect. One area of concern is our service level for DDoS with our ISP. A quick study found that this DDoS attack did not trigger a response and wouldn't because it didn't meet the SLA parameters. For the ransomware attack, we had two failures. The first was with our employee. He and his peers will receive some additional training. We'll use our response as an example in our annual refresher training. The second is with our APT, Advanced Persistent Threat malware detector. We have brought this failure to the vendor, FVEY, and they are researching it as we speak. I expect a response from them next week.
I rate this as a successful operation for our CyberOps team. The enclave was secure, no data spilled, and we validated many of our approaches. With the new cyber strategy and investment this year, we are ahead of the game compared to where we were last year. The ISO standards we used are effective. We can continue to improve, especially in the areas of procurement and contracting. We can use CMMI and supply chain risk management to build out our portfolio. The SLAs we have are effective. Again, we can work with our procurement team to add others creatively. We had one main failure with an employee activating malware sent to him in an email. Training will help us avoid phishing in the future, but we must layer the defenses around that failure. I'm personally looking forward to that discussion with FireEye to tighten up that layer of our security. Skilled people are the reason that this was a successful operation. I'm sure our CISO has this high on her list. We can't do cyber operations without these skilled professionals. Our team worked well under pressure, deploying the enclave, as well as during the attacks and mitigations. And finally, on a personal note, I'd like to thank the Prime Minister for proposing the change to our flag. I am all in for the new design, ma'am. Thank you for your time.